Football club has lost its captain Jeff Hogg and one of its best players Craig Lambert after final swaps were completed today before Friday's draft. Hogg caused a major shock by switching to Fitzroy in a deal which will see the Tigers pick up 3 Lions, while Lambert has walked out on the club. Deals involving Nathan Buckley to Collingwood and Alastair Lynch to Brisbane were also clinched. The shock of the last-minute swap deals today saw Richmond captain and star forward Jeff Hogg become a Fitzroy player. But the Lions paid a premium, going to Punt Road, Broderick, Gale and Matthew Dundas.
The biggest thing that came out of the whole issue was that Richmond made me feel very unwanted, and it's pretty hard to play at a club when you feel that way. So, and Fitzroy do want me.
If I had said to you in August this year that you would have been playing for Fitzroy, what would you have said to me?
Oh, I said, get off the drugs. yeah, I wouldn't have, I would have thought it would be a 2 million to 1 chance, and I would have said you were wasting your dollar.
Craig Lambert was not so happy. Richmond refused to do a deal with any other club other than Fitzroy. Lambert, who like Hogg asked for a pay increase after Richmond were offering big money for the likes of Gary Lyon, Tony Lockett, Alastair Lynch and Andrew Gowers, refused to be told where to go.
Well, I'll put myself in the draft, Eddie. I'm quite comfortable to go on the draft, and I'll get myself super fit with Ray Giles and see what happens once draft time comes along.
Richmond out of the question?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, I'm a little bit disappointed that they wouldn't do a deal with Geelong, but I mean, that's their decision.
In other major deals finalised today, Barry Mitchell, last year's $1 million recruit, goes to Carlton for a second-round draft pick. Essendon's Bradley Plain goes to Collingwood, the club he was to join in 1988 for a second-round pick. Alastair Lynch is now a Brisbane player. Fitzroy get a first-round draft pick, David Bain and Nigel Palfreyman. The Bears retained their priority selection. After all the drama, Nathan Buckley is now officially a Magpie. But Collingwood had to give up its first-round draft pick, Troy Lehmann, and Premiership player Craig Starcevich. After winning the 1990 flag, Starcevich thought he'd be a Magpie for life.
Yeah, very sad, big hole in my life. I mean, you know, 7 years is a long time, and, you know, I have the utmost respect for the players, and I'm just really looking forward to the new challenge.
Is it hard, the fact that you didn't really have much say in it?
Yeah, I think that's, you know, the fact you haven't got any choice is, you know, you just got to live with that. It's cold, hard business now, and if the club wanted to make that decision, then so be it.
In a last-minute shock, Richmond captain Jeff Hogg was today swapped to Fitzroy as pre-draft deals between AFL clubs were completed. In return, the Tigers received 3 Fitzroy players.
Hogg, who couldn't reach a compromise on a new contract with the Tigers, was linked to the Swans, but Fitzroy's late bid, involving 3 players, proved the most attractive to all parties. Gale, Paul Broderick and Matthew Dundas should provide a boost to the Tigers' midfield, while the Hogg acquisition is an obvious attempt by the Lions to cover the loss of Alastair Lynch to Brisbane.
They've got a young side, you know, obviously coming up. They've lost one of their good players in Lynchy, so hopefully I can sort of fill part of the gap.
After 8 years, Hogg is bitter that loyalty has meant little.
I'm pretty disappointed with the way Richmond's handled everything. The bottom line was, you know, that it would have been tough to play at Richmond because they didn't want me.
Also on the move is arguably the most talked about player in the league in the past 12 months. Former Swan and disenchanted Magpie Barry Mitchell is now hoping to resurrect his career with Carlton.
Up till yesterday I didn't know where I was going to be, so it's hard to sort of get excited overnight, but 3 clubs in 3 years is probably not the way you want your career to run, but that's the way it works out.
In other developments today, bomber Bradley Plain will join Collingwood, while ex-Pies Craig Starcevich and Troy Lehmann are headed to the Bears in a swap for Recruit of the Year Nathan Buckley. Meanwhile, Craig Lambert remains on the Tigers list. He can either pick up the pieces at Punt Road or nominate for the March draft. The same situation applies to the Swans' Dale Lewis, who failed in his attempt to join Footscray.